Tired of dealing with annoying flies, fruit flies, and gnats in your home? The Zevo Flying Insect Trap is your ultimate solution. Don't wait. Check out the link in the video description now to get your Zevo Flying Insect Trap on Amazon and enjoy a bug-free home today.
Designed to house the world's most dangerous terrorists, GTMO, or Gitmo, as it's also known, is one of the strangest places on Earth. Indelibly etched on the mind as the camp where War on Terror detainees in orange jumpsuits were held, Guantanamo Bay also has a tat-filled souvenir shop. Last week, the infamous location was back in the news when it emerged that detainees Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, KSM, and two of his henchmen had accepted a plea bargain with U.S. authorities. After more than 2 decades in U.S. custody, KSM, Walid bin Attash and Mustafa al-Hassawi were ready to admit to plotting the 9/11 atrocity in exchange for being given life sentences rather than the death penalty. Their cases had faced delays and uncertainty over claims that their torture by the CIA had undermined the evidence against them. KSM alone is said to have been subjected to a record 183 rounds of waterboarding, an interrogation technique that simulates drowning. The deal was quickly revoked by U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin after furious protests, leaving KSM and his fellow 9/11 plotters back in legal limbo inside Guantanamo. The detention camp, established in 2002, is a U.S. military prison that offers serving troops a bowling alley and an O'Kelly's Irish pub. Recently, a drinker held up his pint for an online picture and wrote, "Tap beer." Things have improved here at GTMO. 11 years ago when I visited, the camp library included well-thumbed Harry Potter books, said to be a favorite of KSM, the man alleged to be the mastermind behind 9/11. Also available to prisoners was a copy of 442 Football magazine featuring a Rio Ferdinand article and another mag which wrote about Wayne Rooney. A guard in the library told me, Manchester United and Tottenham are popular teams with detainees. Nearly 3,000 people were killed in the 9/11 terror attacks, which sparked the invasions of Afghanistan and Iraq. Terry Strata, whose husband Tom died in the North Tower of the World Trade Center, called the failed plea deal a gut punch and said it amounted to giving the 3 high-profile captives what they want. So what is the camp, where hundreds were once held during America's War on Terror, really like? As my plane came into land over the Caribbean in 2013, it looked like an island paradise, with a turquoise sea and stunning sandy beaches. As we came to a halt on the runway, our air hostess announced, "Welcome to Guantanamo Bay." It heralded 5 surreal days at the 45-square-mile naval base on the southern tip of Cuba, where inhabitants include detainees in supermax detention blocks, a large detachment of U.S. soldiers, hordes of banana rats, and Godzilla-like wild iguanas. The U.S. has held this sliver of the island on lease ever since the 1898 Spanish-American War. After the terror attacks on the Twin Towers and the Pentagon in 2001, U.S. authorities realized it might come in useful. Not only is it seemingly impossible to escape from, but U.S. federal laws do not apply there. Usual legal process could therefore be bypassed. On January 11, 2002, the first 23 detainees from the war in Afghanistan, where Osama bin Laden had run terror camps, were flown in. Hooded and clad in orange jumpsuits, their hands and feet shackled, they shuffled in the stifling heat towards cage-like holding pens. U.S. authorities suspected them of being al-Qaeda operatives or Taliban fighters. Photographs of them caused howls of outrage for many. The open-air cages at so-called Camp X-Ray have been compared to dog kennels by one former guard. It closed after just 4 months, replaced by the sprawling Camp Delta, which was divided into different blocks to house detainees, depending on their level of cooperation. Under strict supervision from the U.S. military, Sun photographer Lee Thompson and I were able to view these rusting 8-feet square wire pens, now overgrown with foliage. On our visit in July 11 years ago, I was told the orange jumpsuits were then still foisted on prisoners who misbehaved. In eerie silence, we were ushered into Camp 5 to witness the detainees behind bars. Khaki-clad guards wrenched open a hefty steel door to allow us inside and, with a soft metallic thud, it closed behind us. The block reeked of sweat and disinfectant. It took a few seconds to adjust to the dim light in the air-conditioned chill. I recall 2 soldiers patrolling a glue